Hey, good evening, guys. Here we are on a great Monday evening. Loving the Mondays. There's that old song, I don't like Mondays, but I like Mondays because it's the start of the week. And here we are at talkinfight.com with the Neil the Deal Show boxing segment. We do it every Monday, guys. So thanks a lot for coming out. I really appreciate it. And we're going to talk about a couple of the fights that I had mentioned last week that I was watching this past weekend. And boy, what an exciting bunch of fights we had. I loved them all. All those fights were really really good. I stuck it in. It's really cold up here in Canada, so I mean, staying home and watching a few fights with some friends, some popcorn, a couple of beers, we're good to go. So I had a great weekend. I hope you guys all had a great weekend too. Thanks again for coming out here at talkinfight.com, checking out my show. I really appreciate it. As usual, you guys are top left on this side. Thank you very much. And I just want to say the shares, the likes, and all of the subscriptions, just keep on sharing. I'm noticing that a lot of people are sharing these days, which is great. I love to share everything. I love to share, food, or I like to share my beer, or I like to share. I like sharing. Sharing is a good trait to have. And as a young boy, my mother always said, share with the less fortunate, and that's what I try to do, being a humanitarian over here at talkandfight.com. So, okay, guys, let's get ready to rumble. As we all know, it's the boxing segment here at talkandfight.com. And we're going to start it off, guys, with probably the biggest fight out of the three that we talked about last week. We're going to talk firstly about the Keith Thurman and Marco Berrios fight. Man, what a fight that was. Great display by both guys. Early on, I saw that Thurman, he really showed his superior movement. He was moving around that ring like he was gliding on glass. It was quite a display. And that movement going through the fight, through the middle rounds into the later rounds, was really hard for Berrios to deal with. His head movement was really good. The way he was backing up, the way he was picking off the shots. Then his aggression would show up. He was the stronger fighter. He was the harder puncher. His clean shots, his power shots, set him up with his jab were amazing. So Thurman is back in the mix. In the welterweight division, we have so many guys now, and Keith Thurman being a past champion, I'm sure he's coming back with a vengeance. He wants the titles back, and during that fight, he had some really interesting moments. Now we'll go over the fight a little bit. Around the third and fourth rounds, I noticed Thurman with his left hook. It was a dominating factor in the fight. He literally wobbled Berrios a couple of times, third round and fourth round, and they were punishing shots. He uh he basically, right up until the last round. In the last round, guys, if you check the fight out, he actually threw more punches in the last round than he did in any round of the fight. So he was actually fresh, strong, and he brought it home. He threw 70 punches in round 12. So that was pretty amazing to me that you could go 11 rounds that crazy with that much. He's got to be in great shape, Thurman. So he definitely put on a show. Berrios had no answer and was staggered a couple of times by a vicious right hand right at the end of the fight. And he basically he fought well. I thought Berrios fought really well. He will come back. He will get another shot for bigger fights in the future. But he was a little bit outclassed. Keith Thurman outclassed him in that one, and I took Thurman. I told you guys. I believe I said 10th round TKO, something of that sort. But I believe it was a unanimous decision. It went all the way. The judges scored it 117, 111, 118, 110, and 118, 110. So that was a pretty dominating performance by Mr. Thurman, and I want to congratulate Keith out there. Congratulations, Keith, on a great display, great fight, and we're looking forward to you later on this year in some big title fights. And Mr. Berrios, again, that was a great fight. You fought a great fight. Your game plan was good, but you just got a little bit outmatched by Mr. Thurman that night. So keep going, Marco. You'll be fine. You get in there and do it again. All right. So that was the Thurman Berrios fight. Now, in the Battle of Britain, that's what I called it, the Battle of Britain between the number one and number two middleweights in Britain, we had Liam Williams, the hometown boy, versus Chris Eubanks Jr., whose father was a very influential boxer back in the day. I watched his father fight many, many times, and I'm pretty impressed with. I was always impressed with his father, excuse me. Now I'm really impressed with Chris. Chris Jr. is really coming into his own. They have a bitter rivalry with these two, and it was in Liam Williams' hometown. We talked about that, Cardiff, United Kingdom, the fight on the weekend, and you know it didn't start off too good for Liam. I'll tell you, he took quite the beating. He was knocked down 4 times in the first 4 rounds in front of his hometown fans. So that must have been hard. But he got right back up. He got right back up and he gave it his all. So he's generally a fast starter, Williams. That's what I noticed about him in his past fights and how I liked him. But he tried, but he was off his game. He always starts off good, and he really wasn't on his game. Eubanks Jr. was just all over him, up and down the ring. He basically dominated the fight. I mean, the scorecard will tell you the judges called it 116-109, 116-108, and 117-109. So it was a clean sweep. Chris Eubanks Jr. won that fight, hands down. I felt for Williams, but man, it was a unanimous decision. Eubanks just looked like a much better fighter. He's definitely come into his own. He's really in a position now to get a world title shot. So, or at least a big payday, So, guys that I'm looking at, Chris Eubanks Jr. Moving forward, who he's going to be bumping into, say button heads almost, would be guys like Triple G, of course, Jermale Charlo, and again, Billy Joe Saunders might be a guy that he might want to get in the ring with. Billy Joe being the last victim of Canelo, as we all know. But Billy Joe's a good fighter. He did get injured in that fight. He did break his orbital bone, something of that sort. But I'm sure he'll be back. Now, there was on that undercard of that fight there in Cardiff, there was a girl fighter that I've been watching a little bit. I really kind of like her because this was her pro debut, and I really liked her as an amateur. She's a very, very good, well-rounded fighter. Her name is Caroline Dubois, and she is the sister of the heavyweight contender Daniel Dubois. So I really liked her. She came out. She won every round of the fight, and she was fighting a girl named Vlada Masicate, Via Masicate, Viara, and Viara had no answer for that. So keep your eyes open, guys, for Caroline Dubois. She's one that could be on the move, and you heard it here, right? Neil the Deal, giving you the heads up on that, and I'm sure people aren't really talking about her much yet. But as I always seem to find out, between our George Camboso Juniors and our Jamie Maguias and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I seem to find the gem, the diamond in the rough. And Caroline Dubois is definitely one of those. So we'll keep our eye on her. Definitely. I'm looking forward to her. Now, the last fight we talked about last week was another buddy of mine. I've had an episode on him. He's a 4-time divisional champion, 4-division champion, and that was Leo Santo Cruz. Santa Cruz. I know in his last fight before this one, he was he got viciously knocked out in the 6th round by Gervonta Davis. He was literally knocked out cold. I was a little concerned for him going into this fight that he might have a little bit of, how do you say, something, wasn't right with him or something. But man, he showed us all that he is right back in the mix. He fought Keenan Carbajal. Keenan Carbajal is the great nephew of Michael Carbajal, who is a Hall of Fame boxer. I loved Michael Carbajal. And this was his nephew was in the ring there with Leo. And I mean, Carbajal, that name is some synonymous with the light featherweight division. Michael Carbajal was one of the best and will always be one of the best that I've ever seen at that weight class. So it was an interesting fight. Carbajal was kind of playing some dirty tactics early on. Leo got cut with a headbutt, and the headbutts just keep on coming. This guy was basically headbutting him to death. Maybe that was part of the plan because he obviously he wasn't in the same league. Leo is definitely a bigger, stronger, tougher, faster, better fighter. So I guess he just sort of figured that these are the kind of things that he might be able to get away with. But he was cut early. Leo, I believe it was in the 2nd or 3rd round. He was cut. He was cut the whole fight. never stopped bleeding. Twice the doctors had to come out to deal with the cut, and they let it go. I think they came out in the fourth round, in the sixth round, the doctors. But Leo, he just took it to him. Leo just literally, I think he just made up his mind like, I'm not losing this fight, you know. And he crushed him. It was a hell of a fight for Leo. He flat out destroyed him. Carbajal did not win a round. He was in the fight, but he just didn't win a round. And it was a unanimous decision for Leo Santa Cruz over Keenan Carbajal. And judges went like this, all three of them, same scorecard, 100-90. That's a full-on mind-blowing situation because it's 10-9 every round. So he lost every round, Carbajal. So good for Leo. I'm glad to see Leo's back in the mix. Maybe he can get a return match or a rematch with Gervonta Davis. That's probably one of the things that's on his bucket list now because man, he really took a hard fall hit the canvas hard in that fight with Davis um, back in October 2020, I believe it was. But he had no ill effect. He literally looked at the top of his game. He was fluid. His punching power was good. He used the ring well. His footwork was good. He threw the right hand over top the jab. The left hook was in there. Uppercuts. He had a really good fight. So hey, he's another one that just got thrown into the big mix of all the guys, Gervonta and everybody else over there. That is a crazy division. So that's it. Leo had a great fight, guys. I hope you enjoyed that fight. If not, check out the Keith Thurman Berrios fight was good. Liam Williams fight was good. So we got my predictions were Thurman. I got that one. Liam and Eubanks. I took Liam because of the home crowd. We lost that one. But I took Leo Santa Cruz in the other one, so we got him. So we're two wins, one loss last week in the fight game. So that's good. 2-1, not too bad. Now moving forward, we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming fights this weekend. There's not a lot of action going on, but there is a couple of fights that I saw that I like. The first one being February 12th at the Alexandra Palace in London, United Kingdom. Eddie Hearn's Matchroom presenting super middleweight ex-world champion 2 times, Daniel Jacobs versus John Ryder. John Ryder, that's going to be on DAZN, guys. If you want to watch it, it's going to be on DAZN. So get all your fun food out there, get your feet up, put the heater on, grab a blanket, whatever you need, wrap up, and get ready for a hell of a fight. Daniel Jacobs is a great fighter, so I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, Jacobs' record 37-5 with 17 KOs. Johnny Ryder's not so bad himself either at 30 wins, 5 losses with 17 KOs. It's going to be a close fight. I mean, Jacobs has been off for 14 months. He did lose the title to Canelo quite a number of months, 14 months ago. And he's ranked number 3 by the WBC, and he's also a cancer survivor. So God bless you there, Daniel. Good luck to you with your health and everything. I'm glad everything's going well. And man, you're putting on some displays now, and I'm really, really happy to see you out there again, man. So congratulations. I hope everything's going well. John Ryder, he had a loss to Callum Smith back in December 2020, but then he won his next match versus Joseph Jerko in September 2021. So he's coming off a win. He's a southpaw, left-handed fighter. He's going to be a good test for Jacobs. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a close-knit competition, close fight there, a good brawl, if you know what I mean. And we're going to see. Jacobs is 35. Let's see if Jacobs still has anything in the tank, guys, because at 35, on being a boxer, we'll see if he's got anything left. I think he does. In that fight, I'm going to take Daniel Jacobs, unanimous decision. That's what I'm going to take in that fight. So if you guys want to lay down some ding-dong on that one. Now, I'm going to get ahead of myself a little bit here. Let's just get ahead of myself. The 19th, I just saw this a little while ago. I've heard some rumbling, and I knew about it, but I kind of couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. But February 19th at the AO Arena in Manchester, United Kingdom, Ben Shalom's boxer is going to present Amir Khan. All right? Amir Khan. Yeah, exactly. The Amir Khan versus Kel Brock. Now, Kel Brock is no slouch. They are fighting at 149-pound catch weight. It's going to be on in Britain. It's going to be a pay-per-view event on ESPN Plus, and in the United States, it will be on Sky Sports. But that's not to the 19th. So we'll talk a little more about that. I just thought I'd drop that on you and let you know that, yep, I kind of shook my head. Amir Khan is back. Like, wow, he's an interesting fighter. If you guys want to look into him, get some Wikipedia on Amir. He's a really interesting character, I'll tell you that much. So, I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking forward to it. Now, we're going to end the segment in the show here. Everything, we're going to end it up real quick here, guys. I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the real upcoming big fights that I have noticed have been signed recently, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them. So you can put these ones on your calendar, and we'll be talking about them as the weeks come up and as the weeks go on. Get closer to the fight. We're definitely going to be talking about it. So the big one, there's two big ones. One, it was Devin Haney. Devin Haney agreed to fight George Kambosos Jr. for the lightweight title to unify that division. So that is a big one for me. So that's a huge fight. Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. That's going to be a good one. So apparently it's coming down. I don't think they have an exact date yet, but they've agreed to fight, and I'm looking forward to that. The other one would be Katie Taylor on the women's side. I've been liking the women's fighting lately. They're really they're really moving. They're getting a lot more momentum with the women fighters, and I'm really liking this fight. Is the one I've been waiting for the women. That would be Katie Taylor versus my girl Amanda Serrano at Madison Square Gardens. If you can believe this, guys, it's the first time that women have headlined a major boxing event at Madison Square Gardens. So I'm really looking forward to that. They've got that signed. It's April 30th, 2022. So mark that one on your calendar. That's going to be a hell of a fight. I mean, those two girls are just going to go at it. I also hear that there's rumbling that they're going to change the rules and that they're going to go 10 rounds and 3-minute rounds instead of 2. So this is what I'm hearing. They're going to, I guess they're just going to adopt the men's time and the rounds and lengths, and they're just going to make it. Women's fighting should be the same as men's fighting in my mind. 3-minute rounds like that, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, whatever it may be. And I'm looking forward to it. So, guys, I want to thank you again for coming out here at talkinfight.com, Neil the Deal Show Boxing. I want to say hi to a bunch of people out there as usual. Patrick, again, over at the Safari Barbershop with his team of guys over there. They've been cutting hair probably 24/7 now. Every time I go by, it's just packed. So they're one of the best barbers in Mississauga here out in Toronto, Canada. So if you're around, please drop in and see Patrick. Now, I haven't talked to him, but I'm curious to find out if anybody knows if Pascal Siakam has been over to Safari Barbershops to get his lifetime of free haircuts. So if not, I'm going to have to make a few phone calls and try and find out how we can get Pascal over there because he's a really good guy. He's one of the best humanitarians here in the city, and we all love you, Pascal. So come on down, bring your friends. It's all free, and Patrick will take care of you with his team, eh? I also want to say hi to Jennifer out there, Jennifer Gates. How are you, Jen? Thanks a lot for everything. I also want to say hi to my good friends up north and all my ice fishing buddies. We're going to get out there, Jamie, soon and do a little ice fishing, bring home some perch and a bunch of big eyes. So we'll get some fresh fish on the stove. You know what I mean? All right. So thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. Again, we'll see you. I'm thinking Wednesday. We're going to see you. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. That's Neil the Deal Show NFL on Wednesday. And yeah, we're going to have a special Super Bowl segment. I got the chili all ready to go. I've already organized a bunch of people to come by. We're going to have a big party, and I hope you guys are too. So the Super Bowl is a big event, and I love it. So we'll talk to you on Wednesday. Thanks a lot, guys, for everything. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Check out the fight coming up this weekend with Daniel Jacobs, and we'll see you next Monday on the boxing segment. TalkinFight.com, Neil the Deal. Keep the shares cooking. Keep the likes coming. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want, you can punch that notification bell. That way you know when I'm coming up, and make yourself a little bit of money for the summertime, I guess. Put it in your pocket and lock it in the bank. All right. Get better, not bitter, as we say over here at the Neil the Deal Show. We'll see you Wednesday. Take care of yourselves, guys. Thanks a lot for coming out. We'll see you then.